Hello Wargamers, it's me Callum from TableTopBanter, and today we have a very different kind of video. So I'm going to be doing a battle report in a moment, and you'll see that in a bit, which is all well and good, but it's going to be a very different kind of battle report. It's going to have the full dice rolling, we're going to have all of the elements going on, and I'm going to be trying a new system where basically, you'll see a couple of bits on the screen that'll be a bit different, and this is very work in progress. So your feedback will shape future battle reports. Harry and I are going to be working harder in the future. Today I'm playing my younger sister. She got given a bunch of Tyranids from one of her friend's dads who stopped playing to go with her Tyranids, and so we'll hopefully see her build those up over the coming years. Obviously that'd be fantastic to see. But yeah, today's video is very simply going to be a 500-point battle report, trying out a new system, seeing what you guys think, and going on from there. So we're going to head down to the table in but a moment. But first, I'd like to just sort of talk a little bit about what's actually been going on this planet. So we have an Imperial sector out in the outer rim of the Imperial Reach, and it has been forgotten about for years. So much so, there's all kinds of different problems. I think the main issue was very volatile weather, too hot, too cold. It didn't really have any stability. So it's a bit of a wasteland, mostly ruins, some signs of Imperial bygone era, if you will. And this lack of human activity has basically meant that any organic things that are on the planet are being hunted by the Tyranids just to mop up what's left and then head off somewhere else. However, what was unaware to both the Imperium so long ago and the Tyranids now is they are stumbling across a once dormant tomb world. So we have the Necrons, who they're getting their first show on the channel. It's only 500 points, and they have risen from the ground, and they are, hopefully eventually going to resurrect this tomb world. So the Tyranids advancing into a Necron line, and that's what we have for you today. I do hope you enjoy it. I hope it's something that you guys have been looking forward to, a bit more battle reports. I know I've spoken about it, which is all well and good, but now it is time to actually get on with it. I'm going to show you the armies deployment. The Tyranids will go first because it kind of makes sense narratively. Plus, Necrons can be a bit much sometimes. And as it's my sister's first game with the Tyranids, my second game with the Necrons, we kept it small, we kept it simple. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And so we'll go and have a look at the armies and where they're set up and get cracking. Alright guys, so here we have the Tyranid deployment. I'm just going to let Olivia go through her deployment here, working from left to right if you don't mind.
We have the Hormagaunts.
Yeah, how many?
20.
20 Hormagaunts, yeah, that's right.
My HQ, which is the Hive Tyrant.
Correct, and that's modelled with bone swords and a heavy venom cannon.
Yep.
And regeneration as well.
Yes.
Of course. And over here.
And then I have my second unit of Hormagaunts.
Perfect. And we've also got some infiltrated gene stealers.
Yes.
Who are currently hiding behind this building right here, out of line of sight, about 13 inches away from the Necrons. Yep. So now we're going to swing over, and we are going to go and take a look at the Necrons. And here are the Necron forces. So I'm going to take you through what I have in my list. On the left-hand side, we have 10 warriors with an overlord. He is armed with a war scythe and the gauntlet of fire. I think that's it. I was trying to shave points. It's only a 500-point game. And on the right-hand side, we have another 10-man unit of warriors with a cryptek with the solar staff and chronometron. So that's it for the Necrons. I'm not going to try and seize the initiative because I want it to be a really interesting and different game, and I don't like so much the element of chance that Seize the Initiative has. Now we're going to roll for Warlord traits and such off camera, but as this is Olivia's first game with Tyranids, my second game with Necrons, we're going to keep it nice and simple. Victory points are kill points mission, so it's the Dawn of War deployment, and the name of the mission is escaping me at the moment. But I'll get back to you on that one when we start playing. But it's the kill points mission, basically, just to keep it nice and simple. So we're going to go into turn 1 for the Tyranids, and we'll be back in a moment as we begin movement. Okay, so first thing to do here is move the 20-man Hormagaunt blob up 6 inches. So we'll just show you a little bit as to where they're going to end up, and we'll be back in a moment once they have been finished being moved. And they have ended up over here. So next unit to be moved will be the...
probably the other unit.
So we'll get back in a moment for the move through cover roll and so forth. Okay, so these 20 Hormagaunts are going to do their roll for move through cover. You can see in the top right hand corner is the dice box, so roll away. And the highest there is a 6, so they're going to be moving 6 inches, and we'll be back with their movement in just a moment. And as you can see here, the Hormagaunt brood has moved up from where they were before. So we're going to move the next unit, which I suspect will be the Hive Tyrant. And now moving up the Hive Tyrant, just here, if you want to do that now. No cover roll to move for him. Big metal model though, so be nice and careful. There we go. So, did you want to move the Gene Stealers also here?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we'll be back in a moment, and then we will move those Gene Stealers. So you can see here that the Gene Stealers have budged around a little bit just to get cozy up against the wall. And we're now going to go into the Psychic phase. The Hive Tyrant, which is a Mastery Level 2, rolled obviously on the Tyranid Psychic powers, got 1 and 2, which are Catalyst and the Horror, as well as Dominion the Primaris. So if you wouldn't mind coming this way and rolling me a dice in the box, this will be the additional warp charges. Obviously the Necrons don't have a Psyker, so no added bonus. And you can see there it's 5 plus 2, so you have 7 dice to my 5. And we'll be back in a minute once Olivia has figured out which psychic powers she wishes to cast. Okay, so the first thing Olivia has decided to do here will be to cast the Horror from the Hive Tyrant over here into the Necron blob with the Overlord. Now, it's a warp charge 1. It makes me take a pinning test at leadership -2. So if you'd like to throw the 3 dice that you have in your hand at it, and you get it off with a Perils. That's a shame, because we were hoping that wouldn't happen. Now, that's 3 dice, 3 successes. I'm unlikely to stop it, so I'll let you have that psychic power. Now, I need you to roll a dice for what happens with the Perils. And it's a 6. So, that's really good. That's the one that means you can become a really, really strong monster. It's not so important this turn, but if you would like to... I'll double check the rules first, and we'll come back to you in but a moment. So just double checking, it is in fact a leadership test first. So if you could roll a leadership test at leadership 10, and you pass it. So now the Hive Tyrant has a 3+ invulnerable save, as well as Flesh Bane, Armor Bane, and Smash special rule until the next Psychic phase. Now the next Psychic power that Olivia wanted to cast was Catalyst, and that is on the Hive Tyrant. And what other unit did you want to cast it on?
This one.
The one over here on this side of the table. Okay. Yeah, of course it is. So take your 4 dice.
Yep.
And let's see if you can get that one off. Here we go for Catalyst, which is a grants feel no pain for the 2 involved units. So you get it off with 3. That's 3 successes. I will throw all 5 of my dice at it, hoping for 3 6s. So close. I've never had that happen. 2 6s. You get Catalyst off, so they now have a 5-up feel no pain, as well as getting the Smash special rule, and of course my pinning check. So leadership 10 -2 for the Necrons. Almost forgot. Leadership 8. Oh, that one didn't go in. Oh, regardless, I passed it, so I'm not pinned, but you did get Catalyst off. So we're going on into the shooting phase for the Tyranids. So this being a game with Tyranids in it, there is not a lot of shooting. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll the run dice. We're going to start with this unit over here on the left, then the Hive Tyrant, then this unit here. So if you wouldn't mind rolling for the unit on the far left. Now they have Fleet. Did you want to re-roll this for a higher number?
Yeah.
Okay, so re-roll it. And they got 5, so that's +3 for 8. Now we're going to run the Hive Tyrant, so if you could roll that for him. So he's going 3 inches, and the other Hormagaunts are going 3. Did you want to re-roll that because they have Fleet as well? Okay, all or nothing. 6, they're going 9, so that's an 8, 3, and a 6. So we'll be back to you in a moment once they've made their run move. So this is where the Hormagaunts ended up just now. You can see they've made quite the advance. With this advance in mind, Olivia has decided she wants to run the Gene Stealers. So roll the dice, see how far they can go. So you can re-roll that because they have fleet. So
Good.
for 1 inch. Okay, so they can move 1 inch, and we'll be back to you in a moment. So that was the end of turn 1. Just to give you a little quick reference. Moved and ran. Moved and ran. Did some psychic powers. He has Catalyst, and they also have Catalyst. And you can see here the invisible gene stealers, not just because they haven't been painted just yet. Honestly, they were designed that way to blend in.
Definitely.
So with that in mind, no victory points so far. We're going to go straight into Necron's turn 2. Okay, so first things first is the movement phase for the Necrons there. They're getting a bit scared. I think the game plan is to go after the big guy. So we're just going to move up these Necrons 6 inches. And I'll be back to you in a moment once I have moved up the rest of them. And over on this side of the table, this unit over here, they're going to move up there 6 inches, which will get them to there. And we'll be back in about a moment once I finish moving. Okay, folks, well, with limited options, it's all systems go for the Necrons who will be firing in to the Hive Tyrant concentrated firepower. So first of all, the Overlord's units. They are, oh, how many are in rapid fire range? Can you pass the 12-inch? So here it is. How many are in the rapid fire? Not everyone, so that's not good. Looks like only 3 of them are. So I've got a lot less shots than the dice I have in my hand. That is 1, 2, 4, 6. Doing this pretty well. I'll pop them here for a moment, and then an extra 7 on top of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, dropping dice everywhere. Oh, and there's another one. 7. So here we have 6 and 7 shots. 13 shots coming in from those Necrons. These are hitting on 3s. Good hitting. Only 1 missed out of those.
No.
Now, strength 4 against toughness 6. That'll be wounding the Hive Tyrant on 6s. And that's just 2 of them. So obviously with a 3+ save and a feel no pain, it's going to be difficult to kill. Ollie, do you want to come in here and roll your dice?
Yep.
So with 2 saves to make, if you want to roll those 2 dice, you have a 3 up and then a 5 up feel no pain. So let's see how he goes. And you're fine. Now I'm going to go see who's in rapid fire, and we'll try again with the second. So with only 2 not in rapid fire range, it is 18 shots from the Necrons, targeting the Hive Tyrant again, hitting on 3s. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 misses, so 12 hits. Perfectly statistical. And looking for 6s to wound here. Could do with a handful, to say the least. Let's see what I can get. 6s to wound. Not a single wound. Well, that spells the end of Necron turn 1 with a disaster, to say the least. Not fantastic there. I didn't get any wounds on the Hive Tyrant, who is currently a beast anyway. So we're going to go into turn 2. Leave comments below. Let me know at this point in the video who's going to win. We'll have a look in a moment as we go into Tyranids turn 2. So the Hornwelts on the left-hand side, they will be moving first. If you'd like to roll them, move through cover. And they are going to go 5 inches. So do you want to start moving them?
Yep.
That's the unit over there on the left, the big blob of green dudes, going 5 inches forward into the abyss behind the dice tray. And we'll be back in a moment to show you where they finish. So you can see where they've ended up. We're going to go into the Hive Tyrant. He's going to move 6 inches forward, or she. Don't really know about gender, to be honest. So that she's just going to plop herself, or he's going to plop himself right there. And yeah, going to decide what to do next in but a moment. Next up are these Gene Stealers. They're just going to move mosey around the building in order to stabby, sneaky stabby.
Yeah.
Some of the guys. Well, he'll be just behind him, won't he?
Oh yeah.
Because they're in a daisy chain. And we're going to go. You might as well see where they finish. Just there, chaining their way towards the Necrons. And last but not least, another 20 Hormagaunts piling into this mess of Tyranid bodies. So they're going to move forward. They can't move their full 6. They've got to stay an inch away. But they may as well sort of bunch up that way. Just in case you've seen us with the little red dice, the red dice are just showing that this unit has Catalyst stuff at the moment. Just to remind us as we're playing that they have the Feel No Pain. Because the last thing I want to do is get too many rules wrong. Obviously, there may be some rule errors. It'd be fantastic if you could point that out in the comments below, because I want to become a better player. I want to understand the game better. So if you guys can tell me what I'm getting wrong, I am trying to learn all the armies I play, plus the armies of my opponents, so that I can get that right too. You can move them around a bit more if you want to get them more in. And yep, so we'll come back in a moment when we start the Psychic phase. Moving into Tyranid's Psychic phase, going to roll for how many warp charges are being generated. So you can roll 1 dice. Then we find out how many additional dice we get to throw at spells. 5 again, so 7 for Olivia and her Tyranids, and just 5 for the Necrons. And we'll be back in a moment once we've decided which spells to cast and how many dice to use. So after a little bit of deliberation, Olivia has decided to try and cast the Horror first on the Overlord unit, using only 2 dice of the 7 to try and get it off. So what's going to happen there? It does go off. I am going to throw all of my 5 at this, because I know you've got a lot. So 1, 6, and it doesn't go off. It does go off. And a pinning check at leadership -2 for the Necron Overlord. So he is down to leadership 8. They are good. So casting Catalyst with 5 dice, really... Oh, careful. That was loud. Sorry for everyone.
Sorry.
That's all right. So roll away. Can we get it off? Yes, but mega perils. So it got off with 5,
Oh no.
but mega perilsing. So roll 1 dice, find out what the perils result is.
Oh, it misses.
That's
a 1.
That's really bad. So leadership test, or you're removed from play.
Oh no.
Just so everyone knows, which was the unit you were targeting Catalyst with? Him
These
and the
guys.
left-hand paw. Okay, cool. So if you want to roll the leadership test on 2 dice, he's fine. So he just takes a wound. So we're going to mark him as losing a wound. I think that's the only other effect. I will double check. If I've missed anything, we'll go back and rectify that. If not, we shall continue the game. There is something I'd like to bring up and ask questions on, which will be something I've always not really been 100% sure of. The Hive Tyrant cast Catalyst, which gave them himself feel no pain. He lost a wound through perilsing. Now, if anyone can find a page number and reference for me, so I can fully understand the rules better. We've left it as it is for now, because I'm not sure if the power gets cast before or after the perils. If anyone could let me know, that would be really, really helpful for future games, most certainly, because there's no doubt that this Hive Tyrant will appear in future battle reports. So it'd be really, really great if you guys could let us know what's going on there. We're going into the assault phase now. So charging first is the group on the left, if you want to roll their charge range.
Yep.
Oh, no, not yet. Actually, I've got Overwatch, so I'm going to collect some dice. So, 20 shots, Overwatch from the Overlord's Necron Warrior unit. Hitting on 6s. Just the 1 hit. So brush all these to one side. And this one thing wounds on a 6. And it went off, so it doesn't count. No wounds. So, oh no, it didn't. It wounded on a 4, so it did wound. And you don't get a save against that, but you do get feel no pain. So if I can have you over here roll your feel no pain for me. As this is the unit that had Catalyst on them, so just that dice, feel no pain. Rolled a 5, and so therefore doesn't even lose a wound. Now, if you get 2 dice to charge, you're in. So we're going to go and move them all in, and then we will continue with the other charges. Next unit going in will be the Hive Tyrant, but he is going to go into the Cryptek blob just over here. First of all, Overwatch, and I'm going to do the 20 shots from the Necron Warriors, and they will be hitting on 6s. So we've got a few there, going to count them up, and then roll to wound. So there were 3 6s in there, so let's see if I can wound on 6s. Nothing. So if you want to come over and roll his charge range, see how far he can. I'm pretty sure he's in. Oh yeah, he's in. And you want to move him into base contact with the nearest model. Which is that guy at the front.
Yep.
So he just goes, Rah!
Charge.
Hey.
Bye.
And that is, yeah, so that's the Hive Tyrant. You may as well now roll for the other charges, as I can't shoot.
Yep.
So I believe it was the Gene Stealers you wanted to do next, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Make sure they get into combat, because they're really nasty. And that is a 7-inch charge. And do you want to roll the Hormagaunts, and then we'll do all the moving in a minute? So roll the Hormagaunts. They're in as well. So everyone makes it in. The Necrons are very scared. And that's all she wrote. Well, it's not all she wrote, actually. Because you never really know what's going to happen. I think it's time to find out. And we'll get back to you in a moment once we started all the attacking. Alright, so Olivia has decided to start the fight over here with the Hormagaunts and the Necron Overlord squad. Obviously no challenges to declare because there are no characters in the Tyranid squad. This obviously means as they went through terrain, as far as I'm aware, we are going into the Necron Initiative 2-step pile-in. So moving into base contact is important obviously to figure out who's where. Let's get all these guys smushed, as I like to say. Nice and messy, and there we are. So everyone is within 3 inches of somebody who's in base contact, 2 inches. I'm going to start with the Necron Overlord. He has 3 attacks base, obviously no bonus for charging because he got charged. Weapon skill is, I believe, 5, could be 6, I can't remember, but I'm hitting on 3s either way. So he hits on 3s at initiative step 2, 3 hits. Now this is strength 7, AP2, so no feel, no pain against this. Oops, drop the dice. And it will be wounding on 2s, and that'll be how many dead? So that's 3 dead Hormagaunts. If you just want to pull them from the back because they're going to pile in anyway. Yeah, 3 dead Hormagaunts, and 10 attacks from the Necron Warriors. 4, 8, 10. And that is going to be hitting on 3s as well. Weapon skill 4 versus weapon skill 3. So that's quite a few hits, actually. And wounding on 3s as well, because strength 4 against toughness 3. And if you could come up here and take 5 6+ armor saves. So just with those ones in there, 6+ armor saves. So you save 1 and then roll those feel no pains. Because it was that unit this time round. Yeah. And 3 die. So if you could pull 3 from the back again for me, please.
Yep. Same unit.
Same unit. And then we're going to go and find out how many attacks are about to mince these Necrons and how long it's going to take until I die. So here we are. The Hormagaunts are going to fight back. Now they only have Scything Talons, which I believe are Ep.6, which are obviously not going to do anything against these Necron warriors in terms of cutting through armour. However, there are 42 attacks from the remaining 14 Hormagaunts, and we are rolling them in 2 lots of 21. So if you want to roll 21 dice first, and we're going to count these up. So that's 1. Oh, sorry. That was a hit. 2, 3, hitting on 4s because of a lower weapon skill. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 misses. So you got 14 hits there. We're going to roll 21 dice again, add them up, and then we will roll. Okay, so the next 21 attacks after 14 hits. So if you want to roll these out, lovely. So immediately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. So you had a total of 28 hits. We will now roll to wound. Alright, so these will be wounding on 5, strength 3 again, toughness 4. So if you want to roll these out, this is just 20, because we're going to re-roll 8 of the missed ones. So we've got some misses here. So those will be the 8 re-rolls, and then that many so far. If you want to now roll these, this is the last 8 to wounds, if you like. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 failures there. So that's how many have wounded. Now, Necrons being Necrons, they're not super easy to kill. So we have a 4-up armor save followed by a 5-up reanimation protocol. So see what's going to happen to the Necron warriors. A good amount of wounds though. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 failures. And just move these around. 6 fails, and then 5-up reanimation protocol. Oh wow, not a single one. Best Necron player in the world. That's a tied combat. So I'm going to go remove 6 Necron warriors, and we're going to move on to the other combat. Moving on to the second combat, which is this massive blob over here. First up are the Gene Stealers that are hiding around the building. And they are weapon skill 6 at initiative 6, so hitting on 3s. That's 1, 2, 3 misses. Did not need that. And if you could, oh, there's one hit. Sorry, I didn't see that. Hooray! So these are 3s as well. Oh, that was a 3. That was a hit. Yeah. I'm so stupid. Okay, if you can pick those up, you're wounding on 4s, rending, which obviously makes a slight difference to my saves. So wounding on 4s, yep. 6s will rend. Oh my god. So we've got 3 Rens, 1, 2, 4 fails to wounds, and the rest all got wounding. So let's do these in the easiest order. So these are going to be ignoring my armor, so I only have my reanimation. These are going to be armor save first. So 4-up armor save for Necron warriors. I passed 2. Now all of these are going to be a reanimation, but because I have the Cryptek in there, who's a buffer, he gives them 4+ reanimation instead of 5+. So hopefully this will save a couple. I failed all my reanimation again. I need to really work on being a Necron player. This is about to get ridiculous. Okay, so I lost 6 Necrons. We then got the Hive Tyrant, the Hormagaunts, and then my Necrons get to go. So let's see if these guys can actually survive. We're about to find out. So in Initiative Step 5, we have the Hive Tyrant who is swinging next. Now he is equipped with Bone Swords. I could be wrong, I could be right. I believe it gives him the extra attack because there are multiple of them, and more than one close combat weapon gives you an additional attack. Please, Tyranid players, correct me if I'm wrong. I've had a little bit of a think about it and I tried to see what I could do, but I don't really know, so that's what I'm going to go with. Which gives him 6 attacks on the charge. Now he has weapon skill better than me, so you'll be hitting me on 3s. And strength 6 against toughness 4, so you're wounding me on 2s. If you want to just wound.
Wait,
2s. Through those dice there, you hits. Wounding on 2s. And that's 3 wounds. Now, Bone Swords are AP 3, so they ignore my armor. But Strength 6 does not insta-kill, so I still get my 4-up reanimation protocol. I made some!
No.
Okay, finally. No kills from the Hive Tyrant there, which was a shock. I thought he was going to wipe out like half the unit again. But Necron's finally proving some resilience. Next up we have the Hormagaunts, which we will now pile in and roll some attacks. Finally we have the Hormagaunts attacking in this combat at initiative step better than Necrons. There will be 18 attacks because only 6 Hormagaunts made it into combat because of how far back the Necrons have been killed. So if you could roll to hit, it is a 4-up to hit. And we will, this is 18 attacks from the Hormagaunts, hitting on 4s. That's slightly more like it. And these are wounding on 5s, if you could roll those for wounding on 5s. Just the 1. So now I get a 4-up re-rollable save effectively. So the armor save, I made it. Okay, so let's just figure that out. You killed 6 guys. My leadership is down by -6. I'm down to leadership 4. And, okay, I had to go and check then because I've been watching so many fantasy games lately. I wasn't really sure how morale worked, but forgetting 40k is just straight flat. Leadership 10 for the Necrons here to see if they can hang about. And they make it, so they're stuck in combat exactly where they wanted to be. Oh, I've got to attack back first, actually. There's only 5 people left. They're all the same stats. Useless. After I pile in, it'll be against... Oh, I've got to figure out... Okay, so we're going to figure out who I've got to attack, and then we will... Okay, so 4 attacks have to go on to the Hive Tyrant. So this will be hitting on 4s. 2 hits, and these are wounding on 4s. For 1 wound, if you could come and roll your saves for me, please.
Yep.
It is a 3-up armor save followed by a feel no pain. Failed it, so you got feel no pain roll now of 5+. Oh, I thought I'd done it. 1 attack on a Hormagaunt, hits on a 3 this time. Hits, wounds on a 3. So I did, in fact, lose by 6. So the leadership for a test from before was still passed. Happy days. So we're going to go into the next Necron turn, which is Necron turn 2, to see if they can actually salvage something. Alright, so we're into this very familiar camera angle now, because more death is about to be reaped upon Necrons. Don't they know it? So, what do we have going on first? Well, I'm going to choose which combat I want to do first. Hooray, what a privilege. We're going to start with the Necron Overlords unit. Now, currently there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, are there 14 in there? Am I right in saying that? I believe I am.
Yeah.
So there are 14 Hormagaunts. Now they only get 2 attacks each, so we're going to go roll 20 dice. the usual procedure, and we'll be back to you in just a moment. This is the first volley of 20, so these will be hitting on 4s.
Ooh.
Okay. So we've got a decent amount of hits there. Now if you could just roll these 8.
Yep.
And these will be the next ones. So you get that many hits. And we'll come back to wound. These will all be wounding on 5s. Strength 3 versus toughness 4. So if you roll to wound. Right, so a decent amount there. So we've got 4 up, 4 up, 4 up, 5 up, sorry. So 4 up, armor save. Well, I haven't done that before. Made them all.
That's annoying.
It's actually quite good for me. It means I don't die too quickly. I'm going to do my attacking backs in this clip because I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit. And I've got less attacks, many less attacks. So 3 for the overlord hitting on 3s. And killing on 2s. That is 2 dead.
I don't like this all of a sudden.
And 4 warriors who are hitting on well, they're hitting on 3s. 2 misses, fantastic. Just what I wanted to see. And they will be wounding on 3s. That's 2 wounds. If you could now make 6 up saves first. None made, and a feel no pain. 5+. Right, okay, so no Hormagaunts died either. It's a tied combat. And we're going to count up the attacks in the other combat before I completely die. First up in the second combat are the Gene Stealers. They have 10 attacks hitting on 3s.
Oh.
That's not ideal. Those will be wounding on 4s, but they rend, so if you wouldn't mind.
Please, please, please.
So 1 rend, 1 goes through. Now I have to take these one at a time. Which would you like me to take first, the rend or the not rend?
The not rend.
Okay, so the not rend comes first. The reason I have to take this 2 at a time is because the first unit in base contact, the first guy is in base contact with the Gene Stealer, and he's a regular Necron. The second happens to be my Cryptek. So armor save for the Necron. He's made it, and the rend goes straight through to his 4-up reanimation. He made it. So next up we have the Hive Tyrant, who has 5 attacks. So there you are. He is butchering guys. He's hitting on 3s. Oh
Wow.
man.
Okay.
Turns out the dice rolling is genetic. He wounds on 2s. He is wounded. Just a 4-up reanimation. 1 dead Necron. So we're going to go and count up how many Hormagaunts we can get stuck in and then roll the dice. Alright, so the Hormagaunts, 9 were in range. That is a total of 18 attacks coming in, hitting on 4s. That's not so bad.
That's a lot better.
And then if you could re-roll these 2 wound on 5s, if you don't mind. So these wound on 5s. So that is a total of 3 wounds.
3.
Which is actually not too bad.
Not too shabby.
Set these up. Now these guys have a 4-up armor save. How many of these do I have to take at a time? Okay, just as fine as they are. 4-up armor save on these 3 wounds. Pass them all. Now I get to swing back, and we're going to see who's in base contact with who, and then come back in a moment. So 3 of my guys are going to go into a Hive Tyrant again, hitting on 4s. 2 hits. These wound on 6s. Alright, 1 wound, if you don't mind rolling me an armor save. 3 up. Woo!
Oh.
And a feel no pain from Catalyst.
Yes.
Yes! I take a wound. So he is down to 2 wounds, and the last guy who's going on a Hormagaunt, he hits, wounds on a 3. He does not wound. So I can take some pride from that. I lost 1 Necron, and in return I took a wound off the Hive Tyrant, so it is a tied combat. First of all, starting on the combat on the left with the Necron Overlord. 13 Hormagaunts, I think I miscounted last time, but 13 Hormagaunts here, 26 attacks, there are 25 dice here, so we will be re-rolling 1. So roll away, and re-roll this one. Here's 26th attack. Lovely. So Hormagaunts are hitting on 4s because they have a lower weapon skill than the Necrons somehow. I know. So let's take away these. Good hitting. So these are going to be winning on 5s. If you could just pick up them and roll them. Wounding on 5s.
Yep.
Oh, missed one there, so re-roll that and put it in the jar. Jeez. You're murdering.
Yeah.
Who says Necrons are overpowered, huh? So these are all going to have to be distributed in a different way.
So many sixes.
No, they're not, because the Necron Overlord has the same number of armor bits. The wounds have already been dealt. So 4 up. Armor save.
He's failed.
So I passed 2 of them. What? Okay, and 5 up reanimation. Need to make some of these. Okay. I made 4 of them. So 3 Necrons die. There's still 1 left. And you've done 3 wounds to me in this combat. We're going to come back in a moment when I swing back. Okay, so with 3 dead, the pressure is on this Necron Overlord to kill 3 to even things up. And the Overlord swings, hitting on 3s. 2 hits, wounding on 2s. You don't get the feel no pain, so that's 2 dead. Oh, we skipped the psychic phase.
We did.
We'll have to go back and do that in a moment. Because I don't want you to miss out on the feel no pain if you need it. So 2 dead anyway, that don't get the feel no pain. We will come back and correct our mistakes and then hop back into the assault phase. I now wish we didn't go back and rectify that. We decided just to get the psychic phase done off camera, get it just done nice and quick. And at the end of the day, bad things happen. So the catalyst was taken off. Oh, your guy loses a wound.
Oh, yeah.
But he does gain the smash rule and the 3-up invulnerable save and flesh bane, armor bane, because another 6 was rolled. So the Hive Tyrant is down to 1 wound, which might save me. If I can kill the Hive Tyrant, it's not all over yet, although it's not looking very good, let's face it. But the Catalyst did get off on the unit on the left and the Hive Tyrant, so 1 attack from Necron Warrior hitting on a 3. Doesn't hit. So I lose combat by 1, leadership down to 10. And we're fine, we are sticking around. So we're going to go do the measuring for the second combat and see what we can get done. At initiative step 6, Gene Stealers, 10 attacks, hitting on 3s. Doopy doop doop doop. And they will be wounding on 4s. I got it.
Thank you. I'll pick her up.
Okay. You've got to start dropping them. So, wounding on 4s. But these rend, of course. With the 6s.
Yay.
And then 1 other wound again. So, let's just have a quick look. Yeah. These again, 1 at a time. Rend or non-rend first?
Non-rend.
So, the non-rend for the guy out front. Armor save. Fails it. 4 up. Thingamabobby. Reanimation. Fails it. Guy out front dies.
Good.
So, rend goes through to the Cryptek, who has 2 wounds and a 4-up reanimation. He loses a wound. So, that's 2 wounds. 1 of whom dies. And I'm going to go fix that now, and then we will move on to the Hive Tyrant. Initiative 5, the Hive Tyrant swings in with 5 attacks. He will be hitting on the 3s. Oh, golly. And he is wounding on 2s. Okay, so these once more have to be taken 1 at a time. How am I going to do this? Okay. So they all ignore the armour. So first things first, I'm going to do is look out, sir, from the Cryptek, who is an independent character. So I fail 1, and I pass 3. So these 3 that I have look out, sir, will first be taken off 2 Necron Warriors. Just have to check how many were left. Not that many. So 4-up reanimation. Those 2 die. Obviously, there was a 4 in there, so 1 was saved from the Cryptek. And the Cryptek has a 4-up reanimation. He's alive. The Cryptek remains for now. This does, of course, mean that Olivia scores first blood for killing all of my Necron Warrior squad that were on this side of the... Oh, golly, so many spiky bits. This side of the table. So that is a victory point there. And we will move now into the Hormagaunts who will try and butcher a Cryptek. 9 Hormagaunts were in range to attack the Cryptek, and they will be hitting on 4s.
Ooh, that's a lot of 3s.
Take these out, and the remainder will be wounding on 5s. Hoping the Cryptek can survive just a little bit longer. See if we can kill the Hive Tyrant.
Nope.
So, wounding on 5s. 2 wounds. So a Cryptek, let me just double check his armor save and I'll be back within a minute. So it is a 4-up save. I've got 2 dice here. Hopefully he'll survive. Here we go. Cryptek, 4-up save. He makes both saves. He's going to swing back at the Hive Tyrant. Huzzah! Hits on a 4. Nope. Leadership 10. Passed. So the Cryptek is holding them up at least. But many bad things are happening. Many bad things. So we're going to find out how I can fare in... golly. Is it turn 3 now? Is Necron turn 3? Yeah, I think so. In Necron turn 3. Alright, Necron's turn 3. 3 models left on the table, but we are... I think... I'm confident we're going strong. And I honestly believe the Necron Overlord's going to carry this team to the finish line. So, starting off with the Hormagaunts over there against the Necron Overlord, we have 11 in close combat. So, 22 attacks hitting on 4s. Sorry, hitting on 4s. Which makes a massive difference.
It does. That's a real shame.
Get rid of these. Okay, because there are 2 models left, one of which is a Necron Overlord, majority toughness is now 5 instead of 4, so you'll be wounding on 6s.
That's a bit harsh.
It's not harsh.
Meh.
No, that was a drop dice.
No,
I know.
I did it on purpose.
So on 6s,
Please.
for none. Perfect. So let's just pause and come back once I've picked up my dice for attacking. Striking back then, we have the Necron Overlord. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, 2 hits, killing on 2s, 2 dead Hormagaunts, and a Necron Warrior hitting on a 3, misses. So 2 dead Hormagaunts. The Necrons do win combat, obviously, which is fantastic news for them because they really needed to. And we're going to go and start the second massacre in but a moment. On to this combat in Necron turn 3. Yeah. So if you want to roll first with the Gene Sealers, hitting on 3s. Some decent hits there. Actually pretty rubbish. And then if you want to wound on 4s, don't forget, 6s rend. This could be the end of the combat right here. No 6s, but 3 wounds. Statistically, I should fail. No, it's kind of even, actually. I hope I pass. So, first of all, his 4-up armor save. Made them all. So, the Hive Tyrant, his 5 attacks now. Hitting on 3s. Oh boy, wounding on 2s.
That's great.
It's not great.
Yes, it is.
This ignores my armor, so I'll be left with just my reanimate. 3, 4-up reanimation. I've already died twice over and lost the dice in the process. So, Pariah Kelly, the wonderful Cryptek, is toast.
Good.
We've got some consolidation rolls to do, which we will do off camera because it's a little bit easier as they're a little bit bunched up. And well done. Then we'll go into Tyranids and their next turn. Okay, so I know it looks right now like everything is over, and it's very easy to say such a thing because it's looking quite true. Regardless of that, we're going to give this the good old college try, as they say in the States. And I don't believe you should ever really give up a game if you are playing. And here is testament to that, with just 2 Necrons left, chewing their way through a bunch of Tyranids. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Right, I've done the movement already. We've gotten through that because it was quite an easy movement. Everyone ran towards the Necrons. Now we have charges to roll. If you'd like to do that over here.
Yep.
What do you want to start with? Hormagaunts. The big blob of Hormagaunts are going to go first. How far are they going? They're in. And the Hive Tyrant. Might as well roll all 3.
Yeah.
They're all pretty close. Is in. Oh, yeah, he's in. And the Gene Stealers are in. Everyone's in. Bad things are going to happen. We'll be back in a moment. I have decided to challenge the Hive Tyrant with my Overlord, because that's cool. Are you going to accept the challenge?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, so it is Overlord against Hive Tyrant for coolness sake. Now, the Gene Stealers will obviously be attacking the Necron Warrior first. So if you'd like to roll these 10 attacks, you will be hitting me on the 3s. And wounding on... Oopsie, I'm going to drop one. Wounding on 4s with Rend, obviously, which just spells bad news. Indeed. So you're wounding on 4s. Oh no, that's bad. Okay, so what order do you want me to take these in?
Again, non-Rens first.
Non-Rens first. So, 4-up armor save on the warrior. Makes one. 5-up reanimation. Doesn't make it. So, the warrior is dead. I got to check what equipment I gave my Necron Overlord, and then we will go on from there. Okay, so upon checking that, I did buy the phase shifter. So 4-up invulnerable goes to the Necron Overlord as he tries to tank these Rens. So 4-up. He's lost 2. And a 5-up reanimation. He's alive! Good going, Mr. Overlord.
Nope.
Okay, we're going to come back in. Oh, actually, the Hive Tyrant. 6 attacks on the charge. We can do that now. Whoop! So 6 attacks on the charge, hitting on. Oh yeah, you have to see late. Hitting on 3s. Oh my gosh. And wounding me on 3s because I am toughness 5 and your strength 6. So 3s to wound.
Yes.
2 not wounding.
That's
so these
mystical.
ignore my armor. So it's a 4-up phase shifter save. He's still alive. Alright, this it's not over. It's not over. I am pretty certain. We're going to go count up how many Hormagaunts are in range, and we'll get back to you in just a moment. Starting with the Hormagaunts that didn't charge, 9 of them are there, 9 of them are in range. That is 18 attacks. You will be hitting me on 4s.
Ooh.
Right, so let's get rid of the misses.
Just take away This isn't fun.
Hitting, wounding on 6s. Reroll that one because it was reroll that one because it was cocked. It wouldn't have been a 6 anyway because majority facing was 4, but flat dice only. Okay, so no wounds, and then we've got to go count up the dice for the other half. Because of the absolute mess of that assault over there, only 7 of the charged Hormagaunts made it in. So 21 attacks coming in here, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes. Yeah.
And they are same as before, hitting on.
There's a lot of ones.
On 4s. Never say never in this game, folks, because who knows with this Necron Overlord. They will be wounding on 6s.
Please.
Come on.
I need 6s.
No.
Yes.
No, I need to live.
No, we don't. I cannot lose to this. Yeah, I got a 6.
But I have 3 wounds. So,
let me have my moment.
with the 1 wound there, it's a 3-up save. Failed. 5-up reanimation. Failed. So he's down to 2 wounds, which is not what we wanted to see. And he has to attack the Hive Tyrant. I am hoping for some goodness. I will be with you in a moment. Okay guys, so Olivia reminded me that the Hive Tyrant has regeneration, and we haven't done it for the last turn, so we just went and corrected it. It got its wound back. Now I'm going to cry for a little bit. 3 attacks coming back from the Overlord though. Here we go. This is the big time. Hits on 4s. Oh no. No hits. I did lose combat. I'm not fearless. Leadership 10. I made it. So we are sticking around. There are a lot of attacks about to come to my guy's way. I'm hoping he can survive just a little bit longer. So to see if we can see him take down the Hive Tyrant at the very least. As we go into Tyranids, I think it's turn 4. Oh no, that was Tyranid's turn. It's now Necrons. Let's go and count up some dice to roll. There's so many dice we've rolled. My feet hurt standing here. And we'll be back in a minute. Okie dokie. So we have the Gene Sealers striking next. I'm just going to double check the weapon skill of my Necron Overlord. It is in fact only a 5. So Gene Sealers will be hitting on 3s with their 10 attacks. There's initiative step 6. Oh, that's really bad. Wounds on 5s, 6 is rend. This is such a sad day. You
It's
can
a
see
great
the
day.
picture there on the left, away from the dice pool, just that one Necron
It's
trying to
the
hang in there.
best day ever.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Oh yes.
Only 2 wounds.
But they're both 6.
They're both Wrens. So it's a 4 up, 5 up for this Necron Overlord. First off with his phase shifter save. I was too nonchalant. He's about to die. 5 up reanimation. He's dead. The game is over.
Yes.
I'm kind of gutted. I was hoping he'd survive. He's in here somewhere.
Somewhere.
Ah!
Stuck.
So obviously they enjoyed munching on their metal. That is the end of the game. Turn 4 tabling. I'm basically going to give you a nice little overview in a minute. And obviously we'd like to thank Olivia playing a game and absolutely wrecking my Necrons, my wrecked Crons. And
That was good.
I know. And yeah, so that's a victory for Tyranids in this little 500-point battle report testing out the new system. And I'll be back to in a minute with a little summary, and I'll have a talk about how well this game went for me. So, as we saw, the Necrons lost. Obviously, Overlord Arnor and his Cryptek couldn't get the job done. I really wanted to see that Tyranid High Tyrant die to the Necron Overlord and see if he could salvage it, because I can just imagine this really cool scene, just hacking his way through Horde of Gods, getting them to run away after their leader died. But it wasn't to be, unfortunately. Now, when we look at the actual victory points, obviously a tabling is a win regardless. In terms of kill points, no points at all for the Necrons, but First Blood, Slay the Warlord, and the 4 victory points went to the Tyranids, so it was a 6-0 win. Now, like I said, the whole setup was such that the Tyranids could go first, because I know that Necrons can be a little bit much sometimes, and the last thing I wanted was this first battle report in this style and my sister's first game playing Tyranids, first proper game actually, to be brutally horrible, and it was in the end, but to the Necrons, so who actually cares about that? I think a lot more people would be happy about one of those kind of things. So story-wise, obviously, Tyranids have quashed this early Necron arrival from this early awakening of the Tomb World. This is not the last time you'll see these two armies face off against each other. Obviously, it's not part of a narrative campaign or anything, but it's always nice to have a little bit of story in behind there. And so there you go. I'm sure they'll be back with a vengeance. Reanimating on their way home after this horrific loss. So thank you ever so much for watching. This was very experimental for myself and the channel in terms of how we were going to do it, what we wanted to do with it, and this is a part of our progression into higher production quality. I think it's very important for even a small channel to put the effort in, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I would love for your comments below. First of all, to point out rules errors. Obviously, we missed a couple of bits and we had to go back and fix it, so make sure you watch it all, although if you're at this point you already have. Just to, rule correction, sorry. If you could reference a page number and the book so that I can read up and make sure that it is right, that'd be fantastic. So leave those in the description below. Also, if you think of any improvements, I've got some really cool ideas, and I'm currently drawing up some awesome overlays that I'm going to have going on whilst we're playing, just to make it a bit more immersive and a bit cooler, and again, raise the level of production quality. So comments below on rules and any suggestions. Did you enjoy this? Do you want the summary or the full length of the dice rolls? Because I really enjoyed this. It was a lot more time consuming. I think it was like a 2.5 hour game for a 500-point game. So Harry and I are going to be hard pushed to get the big dice rolling games in until I've got my proper setup. I am currently improvising at the moment, and the ideal solution would be 2, maybe 3 cameras kicking around, a proper processing computer, which I'm kind of in the process of organising, and then just sort of a lot more flexible as to how we can get stuff recorded. The pair of us will be working together, Harry and I as well. So lots more to come in this kind of style. I hope you've enjoyed it. As ever, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave those comments below. Links in the description below to the TableTopBanter blog and so forth. The 9th Age website, obviously not related to 40k, but if you want to try out a cool fantasy game, go and check it out. And the Legion of Gamza Facebook page. Lots of great content from lots of great guys. And thank you ever so much for watching. It's been me, Callum, from TabletopBanter. Don't forget, have fun.